Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Sim Racing Alliance. It's season 13. We are starting out tonight strong.
As they do go side by side. It is the formation lap almost done. They will look, all eyes to the lights. That's going to be an amazing start.
And we have a crash in turn 1 already. What's going on?
On to the bus stop straight. Goes for it around the outside.
More contact behind. That is huge. A couple of gainers in that one.
She's given it everything. She has to. I'm not sure that it's over yet, though.
This is the last opportunity.
We're off and away for SRA.
Let's go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to round 7 of season 14 for Division 1 with SRA. I'm joined in the booth by Selena Boonstra and Alexa Marshall, and my name is Stephanie Fisher. We are at a mixed weather in Barcelona. Selena, what are you thinking about this one? Looking forward to it?
Yes, very much so, because it's not just rain that we're seeing. It's mixed conditions for the first time ever that SRA has done something like this, which is incredible because I've been waiting for this for so long to see mixed weather conditions, and hopefully the Kuno, well, I shouldn't say Kuno servers, but hopefully the SRA servers will keep the integrity rolling with actual variable weather instead of one more than the other. But I am very much looking forward to this.
I am too. I will say with my sneak peek at what's going on that qualifying is looking a little damp at the moment, which they're going to start soon. So we're going to zip through a quick track map here. Do you want to run us through on this so we can go watch our silvers qualify?
Indeed. Oh, I don't even have the let me That's what happens when you're like kind of sleeping on the job. Let's see. All right.
Oh.
So, we are at Barcelona, of course, in none only than Montemelo, Spain. I probably butchered that, unfortunately, but it is 4.6 kilometers, or for the Americans out there, 2.8 miles, which is a whopping 16 turns. Maybe I shouldn't say whopping because there's many, many more turns on other tracks, but all things considered, we've got a long straight on the home straight, start finish line. T1, you got a little bit of the S's chicane-esque type of feel there. You got a long carousel at turn 3, missing turn 2 with the but anyway. Then you got yourself a short straight and then go into an uphill curve at T4, downhill to T5. Little hairpin right there, and T6 further on, going into T7, which is one of the very trickiest corners to master because you're battling with track limits, and yeah, track limits, especially, and pretty much grip on the exit, going up into turn 9 of turn 8, then turn 9, another fairly long straight, have a little bit of a break after that intense curve beforehand, down into a sharp corner at, let's say, T10, going into T11, little bit of a side sweeper there into a curve, turn 12, then turn 13, and the dreadful final chicane that everyone, or at least mostly everyone, hates at T15, and the final corner at T16.
Yeah, I don't think I know anyone that likes that chicane.
No,
At the
yeah,
end.
I can't get it for the life of me. It's like a thorn in the side.
Well, a quick look at driver standings. Gold is being led by Andrew Rados with 476 points, followed not too far away by Jeff Spangler with 464, and Thiago Dinarte with 423 points. So not horribly far away from each other there. He is followed by Renato Dornell. I think I got that right. And then our silver drivers are being led by Danny Durance with 253 points, followed by Victor Diaz with 178. Eric Marecki there with 158. And I'm rushing this because the silvers are out in their qualifying laps, and I really hate to cut them short by not giving them their screen time. But let's see. Team Series is being led by the Madhouse Racing with Samurai Brothers of Jeff Spangler and Calvin Lau with 729 points. They are followed by the Rocket Racers of Michael Menning and Mr. Sir with 620 points. And then behind them will be TSE Horse Girls with Peter O'Brien and Jeremy Mercer with 616 points currently. And I'm going to hop right over to our qualifying. They only have 5 minutes left on the board. That is currently being led by Mr. Simmons. His best time is a 152.012, and it is a very wet track right now.
Wet indeed. I'm curious to see what's it gonna be like once the session rolls over, if it's gonna stay like this or if it's gonna actually die down. That is the true wonders of variable weather.
It is. It makes it exciting. So we have, I saw in chat, we do have a vote for it being flooded for the race until the last 10 where it dries up. So that would be fun.
Oh, I don't think we've ever had a flooded track, at least where like it's always been medium consistently, but honestly, I would really love to see the track being flooded. Watching D1 just like go at it, like track versus other drivers. But I think because it would be so flooded, I think at least assuming the majority of the drivers will be more cautious about track limits and then more than battling it out. But we shall see. It'll be very entertaining.
You've been practicing all week too, so I know sometimes when it's wet, some of these, I want to call them edges, but his brain's not hooking up right now. My camera's doing weird things. The paint is slippery times, but sometimes you can get away with it. So how is Barcelona's... why can I think of the word for the stupid edges of the track? But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Stephanie.
Oh, hello. Well, I'd say like this is quite a, I want to say like curvy track, I'd say, and like especially in sector 2, you use quite a bit of that curve and that like interesting S's complex that you see in, yeah, you hit it and yeah, it can be a little bit dicey, but go around in the PIP, say like the chicane can be quite, actually the chicane, the exit of the chicane, this part can be quite deadly, I would say. I mean, I haven't really done, actually, no. Well, it can be, but actually, I just realized I had a moment during the practice race. I'm just gonna say that out there. It is the exit of the final corner where if you take a lot of curb, obviously, you can you see either Colin Dunham or Eric Marecki just flying by there. But this final curb, if you take it very wide, you can definitely lose the car. like I have, and yeah, it's just one of those corners that can be really deadly in the curbs, but it's Barcelona. In the wet.
In the wet. I see Jess in the chat said the paint's pretty treacherous. Although I'm seeing these
Yeah.
guys like just plowing over it like it's dry. So almost.
Yeah, it's crazy what these guys do. Like I try to do that and it just doesn't work. These guys, well, they're in Division 1 for a reason, so it's crazy what they do.
Yeah, I'm with Jess. I very rarely trust it when it's wet like that.
Yeah, I don't either.
So, kind of hoping it. We have wait. So is Alexa muted? I don't believe she's been quiet for this long. Is being asked.
No, I'm not muted. I'm just letting you two do your thing. Hello, D1. Hello, D1. It's been a while, hasn't it? It's been a while. I've been elsewhere, apparently. No idea. Well, here we are. I am not muted. I was just letting Selena and Stephanie do their thing. Jackson is apparently not here tonight, so I've stepped in very gracefully. I say gracefully, you guys are not going to know what happened behind the scenes. As right now, it's qualifying, 50 seconds left on the clock. If you don't know how qualifying works for you, we'll run it through for you real quick. 20-minute qualifying, 10 minutes for silvers, 10 minutes for gold. Silver drivers are first 10 minutes, gold drivers last 10 minutes. Silver drivers determined by grey number plate, white number. Golds are white number plate, black number. And of course, going to be going to the line now is going to be John Crown. Goes to the line, goes P number 12, 1.268 off the top time. Set by Max Simmons, 1 minute 51.242. Yellow flag flies as drivers will pull to the right-hand side. And of course, it's variable weather. It's wet, it's slippy. And like you were saying, Stephanie and Selena, these curbs are going to be treacherous, especially in this part of the section. Turns 6, 7, 8 and 9 uphill through the left-hander is going to be quite a bit more tricky. You can see the rain falling and how slippy the circuit is even more from the aerial shot provided on the PIP. Around the final corner, Jason Allen will go to the line. He will stay P number 10, 1 minute 52, 1 minute 52. 367 hit their last lap time, 7 thousandths off their best. Going to be Austin Carpenter, who sits P number 8, the 676 for Alpha Sim Sport. 1 minute 52.087 was their personal best lap time. That was in fact their last lap time. And Austin Carpenter now going to come to the line, and it's going to be interesting to see what will happen here as we come, as Selena was saying, these final curbs can be treacherous. Around the right-hander and onto the finish line. Where will Austin Carpenter go to round out his silver qualifying? He stays P number 8, 1 minute 52.085, only the best lap time they could get on the board, Stephanie.
Sure seems like that. So on of our silver division, Victor Diaz slipped in there to take the preliminary P1 with a 151.182 on this wet, rainy track. And we are now going to go take a look at the golds going out there and getting their tires warmed up. We've got a vote for Rados winning tonight by one of our, the Squatchmonger.
Yeah, well, that's going to be one of the key things here tonight, isn't it? This wet weather. Of course, we don't know what it's going to be like in the race until we actually get to the race. But it's wet, and it's only going to get heavier over the next 10 minutes, as you can see on the radar in the top right. So maybe the gold drivers actually having a disadvantage here. As the rain gets heavier, it's going to be harder to grip up on the surface of the track. So we're going to be interested to see what will happen there as Kevin Blanchette comes to the line, and they will start to go around the 949, the Ford Mustang, making its way down the Barcelona Circuit de Catalunya straight into turn number 1, then quickly into turn number 2. Of course, using the now old variant of the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya. Sector 1 and Sector 2 are exactly the same. They've been unchanged, apart from maybe a little bit extra runoff or something, but heck, we don't really know that. Key factors are, of course, what would be now turn number 10 extended into a longer left-hander rather than the hairpin that it is currently with it being longer and wider due to MotoGP, and of course the final chicane being removed and it being a medium speed right-hander onto the final corner. So that's the big changes in real life. But right now you see it is unchanged here in the game. It's the old variation. We won't get the new variation until Assetto Corsa Evo is available in full release. But around the right-hander and up to the top, it's going to go across the timing, and it's going to be down into the end of sector number 2, Selena.
Yes, just taking a view at the chicane, as you mentioned. Boy. Now, I'm having thoughts of if only Kunos would give us that funnel ban, because as I mentioned earlier to Stephanie, that I don't think there is one single person who likes that chicane. If you like it, you're crazy. If you like it, you're crazy. Well then, looks like we have met somebody who actually likes the funnel chicane.
No, here's the thing.
Yeah. I
That's
can
the thing.
understand it.
Well, that's the thing. As Blanchett goes to the line, P number 13 gets dethroned as Sanchez goes up to P number 10. That's the thing. I love it in GT cars. I hate it in Formula 1 cars. As Jeff Spangler now is going to be in P number 26 with no time on the board. Goes to the line, goes P number 7. Banker lap set and enabled as they go through. That is the first time I'm seeing that livery this season, and it's absolutely lovely. You know what's also lovely? A good old Lamborghini Huracan Evo 2. As why does it look like it's got a BMW livery on a Lamborghini? As through the final corner, going to go to the line, pedal to the metal, foot to the floor for Mr. Server, 747, P number 9, 0.9 flat from the top time. Still yet to be beaten is Victor Diaz, 1 minute 51, 182. Here comes Dinarte, who's going to be coming to the line now. P number 36 with no time on the board. The 929 goes to the line. P number 8, 0.858 off that top. And right now, they're going to continue here as down into turn number 1. Turn number 1 is going to be an interesting one when it comes down to the race, Stephanie, because if it's still wet, it's going to be tricky and it's going to be slippy going into that first corner.
It is. I mean, the first corner is kind of always found it to be a bit tricky to get it right, because it really is imperative to do that right to set up the next corner so that you have that little bit of a straight before making the hairpin turn going up that hill. So those are like really imperative to get through there, not make an error so you don't lose on that. Basically, I mean, I call it a straight, there's a big turn and then it's a straight, but it's pretty important from my recollection. Not my favorite track, I will admit. It's fun to watch other people race it personally, but I never made good friends with Barcelona. I will admit.
Yeah, I enjoy the first 2 sectors, but sector 3, it's because of that chicane, literally why. But even the corner before that, it's like it's downhill and off camber. It's like, am I gonna lose the car? Like, is there enough grip here? And then all of a sudden, boom, chicane. And then you gotta brake quick enough and outwardly enough just to hit that first curb, and then try to make it around quickly as you can to the second part of it, which is I can say it's more than likely probably a skill issue, but I still don't like it anyway, just because it's so awkward and you already have like an awkward corner before that. But yeah, I enjoy the first 2 sectors. I think especially the second sector, I find that interesting. S's type complex upward, it's pretty fun. When you get it right, it's even more satisfying.
Yeah, I can see that. That was like the first sector, and the second one is kind of fun, and then the third is just it's awkward.
Yeah.
That's all it
Well,
is.
Well, that's one of the key things what you kind of have. That's one of the key things what many people may forget about this circuit. Whilst it was built for Formula 1, it's a test circuit. So, whilst you do see races going on around this track, it's built for the purpose of it's built for the purpose of racing teams can bring the cars around here to get it all sorted, because it's got that high speed straight for the main straight. It's got the chicane at the end. It's got the hairpin of turn number 10. It's got the uphill right-handers. It's got the medium speed, slow speed, and of course fast speed and high speed corners. So that's kind of just one of the things that comes with the Circuit of Barcelona Catalunya. It's a test circuit, and it will always be a test circuit. It's just, if you do end up racing around here, you've got to get it inch perfect due to it being a test circuit, which can be why Circuit of Barcelona Catalunya can be so loved or so hated, because if you don't get it perfect, it can be a pain to drive. But when you've got it perfect, it flows perfectly, as the number 32 seemingly having a moment just before the chicane. As you can see on the PIP, they are just at the bottom. They are moving again, or are they spinning up there nice and round there, nice and smooth, as we're currently watching Jeff Spangler, highest gold driver on the board as it does currently stand. The silver drivers, P number 1 and 2 right now, Selena.
Yes, haven't really been looking, as I unfortunately do not have any statistics on the side. But,
What do you want to know? I might have something.
yeah, exactly. But, it really... Just looking at this area complex is... Yeah, it's just going back to, like, the whole trickery thing and the test track, and just... Yeah. I'm thinking about the Nordschleife too, and I will mention it again. I will mention Nords again. That also is a... I don't know if that would be considered... Well, there's some teams that test on the Nordschleife too, just because it's long. It's got corners, many corners, way more corners than this track, and you do see, like Porsche, Ford, Mercedes, like all of them just testing, trying to get like the quickest times. But then we have Barcelona being another test track. But I do have respect for this track because of the amount of different complexes that you have on this track, and it's in Spain. Who doesn't love Spain?
I have no idea.
I just realized how cold the track temps are. It's 15 and 19 and wet.
Ooh.
It's just a normal day in Britain. As going to be coming in these going to be on this final lap. Checker flag has fallen, so we're going to be watching Jeff Spangler. We've been watching Jeff for a while, but that's because he's the highest gold division driver on the leaderboard as it does currently stand. Everybody else has set their lap times apart from Mr. Sir, who is also seemingly out on the circuit, as well as a few more drivers who are lower down the grid order. Going to be going under the little canopy bit where we'll give you a little bit of respite from the rain if you're a fan, but not so much if you're a car, because the rain is going to be hitting that windshield like it is no tomorrow. Going to be coming through this right-hander with a lovely looking livery for Jeff Spangler, the number 1 reigning champion after the end of last season. Where is he going to be able to put it tonight? For Stefan's Designs, X Madhouse Racing, season number 14. He sits P number 3 currently. His number is 1, but can he go P number 1? Around the final corner, here comes Jeff Spangler.
Nope.
Gonna go to the line, goes deep, goes wide, into the grass, into the barrier.
Nope.
Say goodbye to the pole position hopes. It's Mr. Sir who now looks to lock in into this chicane, Stephanie.
Yeah, I don't think at this point I don't see any of the D1 guys. I mean, the gold guy is getting the pole position. I believe Victor Diaz is going to hold on to that, followed by I always forget if it's Max or Matt Simmons, and that's not even going to tell me. But Mr. Simmons and Jeff Spangler will start P3, Brian Anderson P4, Eric Marecki in P5. So it gonna hop over it. Looks like he's a lot of silvers up in the top 10, more silvers than gold. So it'll be interesting start. And I am going to run our sponsors quick while we wait for them to get ready for this race.
A huge thank you to our SRA sponsors and title sponsors for supporting us here at SRA, as well as support from Documise, a modern business solution for product management. Go to documise.com to learn more today. And support from Retro Saga, a North American-based gaming company that provides accessories for your favourite classic systems, including Nintendo, Sega, PlayStation, and much more. Enhance your retro gaming experience today at retrosaga.ca. And a big thank you to our affiliates, Track Racer. Experience redefined gaming with Track Racer's high-quality sim rigs and accessories. Use code SRATE at checkout to support us. Armamentario, a toolbox for ACC that will enhance your chance to win. Enjoy a fully customizable and enhanced HUD to change the way you experience ACC. AT3D Sim Shop. Upgrade your sim racing experience today with premium 3D printed accessories featuring precision crafted magnetic shifters, sleek cable management solutions, versatile stream deck mounts, and immersive dashboard displays. Their innovative designs enhance performance and style, elevate every lap with top-tier quality and craftsmanship at at3d.net. Go Setups, premium esports setups for everybody. Use our affiliate link on our Discord and take your drive to the next level. Castle and Cauldron, a home-based crafting business specialising in handmade Harry Potter, Fantastic Beasts and Fairy World collectibles. Magic wands, potions, mini dioramas, wall decor, costumery, cosplay, and much more. Castle and Cauldron is where crafting meets the magical. Visit facebook.com/Castle Cauldron. And from KP Concepts, your source for custom automotive renderings, graphic design, and printing. We spend countless hours making you look all good for the spectacle. Check out kpconcepts.com for more.
We are back. And hello, we are back at the track waiting for them to start, and this camera angle is not going to work out so well for us. We'll look at them from behind as we run down our grid order.
So on pole position, we have Victor Diaz, followed by Max Simmons, and that beautiful looking Madhouse livery, followed by another beautiful looking Madhouse livery, Josh Figueroa, Brian Anderson, Eric Marecki, Durant, Mofet, Sir, Rados, Mercer, Dinarte, Lau, Sanchez, Rustalainen, Cran, Carpenter, Queso, Escorcia, Flamger, Manperson, Blanchett, Dunham, Rostovich, Wilson, Allen, Wilson, Pratt. Anyway, Donovan, Colton, Martin, Williams, Glass, O'Brien, yeah, that.
Blessini Rivera and Mr.
Rivera.
Arnott.
Oh, they're going by so fast. But at least we saw the beautiful liveries. But once again, we'll comment on. I think I can't really say which is my favorite, which has been my favorite theme so far. But there's just so many good liveries this season, so many good ones. And I mentioned that I think in every single stream. But hey, it's appreciation for all the livery makers out there doing a hard work worth of a job.
I would probably say that every season. There are so many people in SRA who can really put out some gorgeous liveries, and it seems like every season the bar gets just a little bit higher.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like again, I would mention definitely no Madhouse bias. Definitely not at all whatsoever. Those McLaren liveries are just superb.
Yeah, they are, aren't they?
Yeah, I wonder who made them though.
But I'm looking forward to this wet race. Look at all this rain, but I'm looking at the forecast on our thing, and it looks like it's lightening up at 30 minutes. So that earlier forecast of flooded track drying in the last 10, maybe not
Yeah.
so far off. So that'll be fun. Strategy
Oh, yeah.
will be huge. Oh. So hoping everybody practiced wet and dry. I'm sure they did.
Yeah,
As we,
surely.
start lining up 2 by 2. Working toward that final chicane. As they're coming around the bend. Alexa, why don't you bring us into the start of this race?
The rain continues to batter down here at Barcelona. It's expected to clear up in 30 minutes, but as the formation lap comes to an end, the drivers will now go double file out the chicane and around the final corner here in Barcelona, here at the Circuit of Barcelona, Catalonia, not so far from Barcelona. All eyes will now go to the lights. They wait for that flag, and we are racing here at Barcelona for the penultimate round of season number 14, and it's gonna be a very, very nice start for Victor Diaz. Not so much for Simmons, already down into turn number 1. Looks like the wheel-to-wheel side-by-side. Victor Diaz, though, looks like he's going to go deep. McLaren behind tries to slot round. Jeff Spangler also going to be right there as well. He's got to be careful. Anderson has already made up a move up against Marecki, but Marecki now goes up on the inside, looking to keep that position and keep it nice and clean. Jeff Spangler sticks it in behind, and it is nice and tidy. 19-degree track temperature here on the race start. Already a drive-through for Cortez. Definitely for overspeed on the race start. It's going to be a nice and tidy through sector 1 it seems, but not so much on the PIP, as we see a Ferrari off on the exit of turn number 4, out into turn number 5 and down into turn number 6, and it is going to be one heck of a race. It's expected to lighten up in 30 minutes, but that's only going to be light showers. The earlier forecast of it clearing up in the final 10 may be the true drama. The 3-2-1 had that incident and they lose out as we see a move there. Beamer getting past Ferrari a little bit further back. Here comes a Ford Mustang, also going to continue to get through in the PIP, but gets caught up on the curb a little bit too much. Down into the braking zone of turn number 10, into the left hand though. One more time, Ford is going to go around the outside. It's going to be Mercer on the back of Sanchez. Going to be looking for it, going down the inside, number 37 versus the number 78 down the inside. Ford versus Ferrari, always known and always loved. Now down into the braking zone, into the right-hander, nice and tidy, nice and clean. Beamer looking to capitalise, Stephanie.
Look at this, that little bit of bump there. It's so far pretty clean for a wet, cold start. As I say that, we have a bit of a hot mess here. Let's see what happens.
Oh, the straight. Oh.
I'm going to get a replay.
I just got that, but Wilson.
Yeah, I might have gone back a little further than I needed to, but hey, definitely wanted to see where we got a little start there with a bump. And and okay, well, you know, I had to up and open my mouth about a nice clean start. So,
oh man,
the chicane hits again. This wonky camera.
To be fair, that wasn't even the chicane. That was on the exit. A little bit of contact between the Beamer and McLaren, causing the McLaren to veer across the circuit, get clipped by the other Beamer just behind them. That then spun them, wet track, holding the brakes, ends up halfway across the track, hits one, ping pong, here we go, across the tennis ball court, and that ends up with what you see on the exit of the final corner. Now, got to be looking at Mr. Sir, who's trying to make a move past Danny Durant into the left-hander and onto the exit. Of course, a hairpin, unlike in real life now. And how did somebody get a drive-through for being a little bit too fast or out of position on the race start? Fire Queso now looks to move around the outside of the 518 Ford Mustang, but on the curb, onto the sausage, and it is going to be a little bit unlucky. Looks for the inside line, will now Ferrari. Going to be Ford versus Ferrari one more time, always known in history, but nice and there for the time being. 710, 518, wheel to wheel, side by side, heading down into the final chicane. Nice and tidy. Don't make contact. Slight bit there, maybe millimeters, inches apart. Ford loses out, but we know it's straight line speed. Ferrari not so much. Gotta be careful. Crown looking to get past Laz. Laz looking to get past Queso. Peter O'Brien also sat in the background trying to make that move. Gonna be right behind him. The Beamer of Orange gonna be making his way through. On the background, you can see him right there. Gonna be going down the inside. Gonna be going for him nice and tidy and nice and clean. But in the background, that was Orange who gets past Peter O'Brien, the 403, getting past the 114. And that is how it happens, and that is how they got it done. On the exit now through turn number 3. Gonna be right there with him as we go over to Diego Dinarte.
Well, Diego was looking like, I mean, based on the times, like he might have tried to be making a move on Durant, but not so. We might look around. As I see Jeff Spangler creeping up on Simmons quite a few times. We'll see if he can find an opening. Jeff is in the running for the gold championship, so he would really love a win at this track today.
Contact on the PIP.
Not momentarily. See who those two are. It's not over yet, though. Oh, Wilson and Carney Arnaud going out with Jorge. Jorge gets through. Wilson getting the worst end of that side. So lost a bit of time after that little squabble early on. But Arnaud is not finished with Jorge, though.
Well, we'll wait and see what will happen here as we head down the main straight. It's going to be Laz who's also on a defensive here. Key factor though, which is now showing up on the radar, rain will cease in 30 minutes time. So at 23 minutes, the rain will end up ceasing. We're going to have a short shower in 10 minutes, so it seems like it's updated live as we see a little bit behind Peter O'Brien versus John Crown. Little battle going in now through turn number 3. Also going to be right there. Fire Queso losing out to Movo, unable to get that move done. Laz is right there as well as actually no, Fire Queso losing out 2 positions there. Unlucky to the Ford Mustangs as they have now got a McLaren right behind him and a few more. So Crown behind Queso, who then has Escorcia and Guy Manperson behind him. But Blasini, Riviera and Sanchez have made their pit stops. And this is the key thing with pit stops in this race. It is full race fuel. You cannot refuel as that's going to be a freeway battle right there. Mr. Sir versus Anderson versus Rados, who's now heading out of the left-hander and into the right-hander, heading up the hill and a little bit of undulation, a little bit of elevation change. Not many fans in the grandstands due to the wet weather, but through the right-hander and into the braking zone for the final chicane. Rack, aka Race, I don't know why the E isn't there, probably got washed away by the rain. But it's going to be nice and tidy. Seemingly the chicane, like it always does, bringing an end to that battle. And the end now is going to be this battle. As Selena, we see this on the PIP. We'll let you have this one.
For sure, John Crown just trying to take the inside, but will he be fortunate enough to get Omar Escorcia? And oh my goodness, Escorcia makes it and sticks it and defends that position, but he goes a little bit wide taking that curb. Is it going to have enough speed for the entry? And knowing that Mustang, he does, but things are getting really spicy with Guy Manperson trying to go up on the outside before T1 as that McLaren tries to sit on the inside. Looks like Guy Manperson has a better end of it, but no. John Crown says, I am keeping this position in my McLaren, and you Mustang stay behind. But Martin trying to get a little bit of a scrap of this battle. Momentarily, can he find a gap? He's squeezing really tightly on the inside. Will he get the better end? And it looks like momentarily he does, but Guy still has the inside. But it's all about the next corner, that who's gonna back out. It's not out of the woods yet. He's still sticking through, but it looks like Martin. Ooh, little bit of a more power for that BMW out of the exit, but is definitely not finished with this battle, as it is definitely simmering with Martin trying to find as many ways as he can possibly, outside, inside, taking this, oh, very close. Wilson now licking his lips at this battle up ahead, hoping that there will be some sort of mistake with these two in front in order to catch his teammate, John Crown. And oh, it's a teammate sandwich, actually, with the McLarens and a BMW and a Mustang. But things are heating up with these two, without a doubt. They're putting on a very good show with clean racing.
And most definitely, and whilst this battle has been going on, you can clearly see it. Not so much on the drone camera, because PIP is a bit smaller, but on the big screen, you can definitely see it. The rain has started to fall down a little bit, but the radar is also showing that now in 30 minutes, it is going to be light rain. A little bit less light rain, but still light rain nonetheless, meaning that if we're going to go off the previous vectors of the weather, there is going to be in about probably between 20 to 30 minutes time, there is going to be a short stint in this race where the rain is going to cease. Will the track get to dry? Unlikely with the time, as it will most likely go to damp or a little bit greasy, but we'll have to wait and see when that comes around to it. As you see these drivers, 5 drivers, 6 drivers, all nose to tail. A little bit in the background as well, you see Kelvin Lau and Danny Durant looking to get those moves and going to be locked in their own little battle a little bit further back. Going to be heading through the right hand there as Mr. Sir now sits P number 6, Lamborghini Huracan Evo 2. Many people may count out the Lamborghini, but Mr. Sir showing why the Huracan Evo 2 is one car that you can never count out. Through the final corner now, and they will continue going. We are 48 minutes, 50 seconds remaining on the clock. It is the penultimate round of the season, Stephanie.
It is, and they're doing a fantastic job. Yes, Diego in the chat saying they're racing hard even in these conditions, and they are, you know, cold track temperature, cold air temperature, wet. It sounds like a really difficult mix in my opinion, and they're really pushing it. Popping up into Jeff Spangler, he's putting a lot of pressure on Simmons for that P2 position. Kind of did a little bit of poking around, trying to get a look, but not able to find an opening just yet. But we're going to keep a really close eye on them.
Yeah, we will keep a close eye, because this is actually a really key factor which showed during qualifying. With the weather when it usually is, the Gold drivers usually have a slight advantage when it comes to racing, when it comes to qualifying time, as the track may be a little bit warmer. However, in today's qualifying session, the Gold drivers had a wetter surface. That has spread them throughout the entire field. So the Silver drivers, currently P number 1, 2, 4 and 5, with a single Gold driver of last season's champion Jeff Spangler right in the middle with them. So Jeff has been stuck behind Max Simmons since the start of this race, and it seems like he's just been unable to get past, as we are going to be going over to Williams. Chandler Williams versus P number 20 of is going to be Arjun. I am not going to try my luck with saying the full name, as it is the rain the rain is now damp, so the rain is still falling slightly. You can see it on the cameras, but the track is now damp, so the rain is not coming down quick enough that the circuit is becoming any more wet. The tyres are completely throwing it off, and they're making their way through. They're getting it nice and clean. Mr. Sir still trying to make these moves done, but Selena, with this new weather and this little moment where it's a damp track instead of a wet track, how do you think this is going to affect the battles and strategy?
Oh, I think, just looking at the dry line already forming and the drivers already dipping their tires into the wet part of the track, I think it's going to be interesting. And I've been waiting for this for so long, and I genuinely, with a smile on my face, like I think I saw something in the chat earlier saying that there might be this might be a 2-stop race, and I think like the rain is gonna stop, and the conditions are already damp. So obviously, seeing drivers dip their tires into the wet portions of the track just to cool down the pressures and just the tire temperatures, I'd imagine like it's interesting, because I think a lot of drivers have to stay out for as long as they can, which also, it's not your usual thing where you just, you know, go in about like maybe a bit before a half-hour mark. Like I think I would probably rely a lot with what I'm seeing. Like, just stay out for as long as you can and see where the weather unfolds within the time frame of the pit window. But it's going to be interesting where this unfolds. But I assume a vast majority of the drivers are just going to stay out and see where it goes. As again, you see Guy Manperson and John Brown just going back to the wet portions of the track, cooling off their tires. It's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, as we also saw there, Colin Dunham has got a move done nice and clean, I do believe, on the that was a nice and clean move. It seemed like a move deep into the good old turn number 1, and it went a little bit deep for Mr. Jason, and it was Colin Dunham who took advantage of that. Good old switchback, good old timing, and we are going to get ready to go for this. It's going to be light rain. It looks like it's going to be like that for the rest of the race. However, of course, if it's not coming down thick enough, it's not going to be quick enough. As we see Ilpo Lutsalainen going to go for the move there, gets pushed off, and flash, he is not happy, down into P number 17, and my apologies, that was Timothy Flamger who goes for the move there. Wheel to wheel, side by side, now going to be Rushovic versus Carpenter. We're going to be having a nice little squabble just in front, and nice and tidy Rushovic versus Carpenter as they head up through sector number 3, and it is going to be right there for the taking. Nice and tidy. Stephanie, your perspective.
Well, interestingly, I was thinking earlier you said, like, oh, the golds didn't have an advantage during qualifying. But after you said that, I'm noticing, you know, the golds are spread out through the field, and they're all in the same conditions, and they're really not able to, it's not like they're thundering through the silver division. I mean, Victor Diaz is up there in P1, just holding it away with a almost close to 2-second lead on Simmons, with Jeff kind of poking his nose around in the back, catching up, falling back, trying to make a move, not finding that opportunity. And as I look down through the field, it seems like our golds and silvers are on a somewhat more even ground with this wet track, so it's making it a really interesting race.
As on the radar, we will be getting extra rain in about 30 minutes time, so it looks like this race is gonna. It looks like this is. We were told that it's going to be variable weather. It is very much variating. It's variating every single minute of this track. It still sits at 19-degree track temperature like it has been since the start of this race. Jeff Spangler with the fastest lap. It's Victor Diaz who leads, followed by Max Simmons, and Jeff Spangler rounds out the podium. It's then Eric Marecki, Anderson, Mr. Sir, Rados Donate, Durant and Kelvin Lau right now. Mr. Sir currently holding on to that P number 6 position like he has been for the majority of this race. They've all been six align for this entire time. The last 20 minutes these drivers have been going at it, and it really does come down to a testament. These guys are in such variable conditions, yet they can hold it with each other through the left-hander into the right-hander. The good old chicane here at the Circuit of Barcelona Catalunya, which will be gone unless they give us the option, like in Project Cars 2, where you were able to select a track variant But if they don't give us that in good old ACC Evo, then it's going to be just a new layout, as that was Jeff Spangler who looked for the move into turn number 1. A little bit too deep though, maybe having a bit of wheel slip. Now actually falls further behind Max Simmons than he was going to be. So that is an unlucky move there. We're 10 laps deep, we're on lap number 11, and it's Jeff Spangler who's still unable to get past Max Simmons. Max Simmons putting up an absolutely defensive masterclass here at the circuit, and that is what you love to see, Stephanie.
It is. That's why I'm really finding this interesting. I'm seeing, Jeff not able to get past Matt. I'm also seeing like Mr. Sir. He was trying to find an opening on Brian Anderson. That neither one of them has been able to make that move and make it work in the least. And so here you've got gold on silver drivers up in the front, not able to get by. So yeah, it's kind of fun.
Yeah,
And
in fact, as
sorry, I was going to say to
on.
Diego, don't worry, I'm not going to come after you yet, but I want to know how you like it when you finally do get around to using that wheel.
Was that? But we wouldn't have blue flags this early on. So that was a move there, I do believe. But Selena, you've been following the battle for a little bit back here, and talk us through it. What have you been watching there on the PIP?
Well, I have seen Peter O'Brien trying to make a move on John Laz a minute ago, but it looked like he went a little bit wide, a little too close, and he just chucked the car over a little bit. But he's rejoined the fray as this Mustang Cup going on over here, but it's very tight, and between the two teammates of Donwin Colton and who might that be at the front? Stand by. Oh, that is Donwin Colton. Ah, yes, Amos Mogo. So they've been just tagging along each other, but this battle is just only festering. I can only imagine. Two teammates in front, but it looks like Movo is quite the pace.
Yeah, apologies, Selena, we're going to cut in here, as that is going to be Kelvin Lau who goes for the move, gets it done on Danny Durant. That was at turn number 5 and into turn number 6 and 7 now. Apologies for cutting in there, Selena, but that was a nice, lovely move there inside the top 10. Back to you.
But Peter O'Brien again going a little bit deep, trying to anticipate a move on John Laz, but yeah, like I said earlier, I think this battle is just festering at the moment, and this little Mustang Cup going on here. Is John Laz he's waiting, that's for sure, just eyeing these two teammates of Donwin Colton and Amos Mogo. But these guys are quite a fight in defense, but I assume these two are probably in comms, but just trying to pan out strategy and keep away from John Laz and Peter O'Brien, who's not that far behind either.
Yeah, well, that's the key thing, especially when it comes to this circuit. Oh, go on.
John Laz takes the capitalization after that mistake. It goes right into the pits. Might as well do that.
Yeah, well, that is a moment there at turn number 2. Car cutting across. I do believe that was the McLaren. I do believe that was Kelvin Lau actually. So a little bit unlucky for them there. As Stephanie, how do we think this is going to unfold? Because we've got more rain going to be hitting the circuit. We're coming soon. Although it does calm down a little bit beforehand.
It's going to continue to just unfold the way it is now. We've seen like this. What's going to be interesting is when they decide to start going into pits, and maybe that, mixing some of these guys up, and some of these drivers who've been trying so hard to get past the guys in front of them, maybe get by them in their pit stop, just having a better pit strategy, or just a better pit stop in general. That, I think, is going to be where we see more movement and maybe a little bit of mixing of this field. Right now, it's just the same kind of couple of different groups, and then you've got your couple of main battles up in front. But it's definitely some nice battles, and they're really doing a great job in these, what I would refer to as pretty wretched conditions.
Yeah, well, speaking of wretched conditions, actually, radar shows dry in 10 minutes. We are now at 35 minutes 55 seconds. This is usually, it doesn't matter if it's wet all the way through or dry all the way through. This is usually where the drivers would be opting to make their pit stops. 35 minutes to 25 minutes is usually optimal. However, as we do ride on board here with Mr. Sir, you can see the rain has majorly died down. It is practically completely gone. You still get the kick up from the diffusers of the car in front of you, as Mr. Sir does feel from Brian Anderson, who is just in front of him. It's a McLaren 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way up at the top, but it's still an interesting one. Mr. Sir's been sat in P number 6 for a while. He's having a nice little time, and I can tell you right now, that Lamborghini may be good in a corner. It's all right on a straight, but you got to be careful with your downshifts. There's, of course, no downshift protection on that Lamborghini Huracan Evo 2, as up and through the right hand there. It's nice and tidy, nice and clean. Selena, what about this perspective for you with this little dry spell incoming?
Well, earlier I had
Sorry.
my
Victor Diaz.
uh-oh.
Victor Diaz.
It's Victor Diaz off. Will we get a replay of
This is
that?
the replay.
Yes, we will. Going up and through the right-hander, and now onto the exit. Yep, I feel like we know what is going to happen here. Or was it contact from behind into the braking zone? Variation in the weather changing.
What?
No. Oh, that wall. Without a doubt, that
Very
looks
interesting.
like a wheel disconnect.
It looks like he's completely out of the field. He may have just utterly disconnected. So heartbreaking for Victor. He was doing really well. So if he had a connection loss there, and he, from being in P1, oh,
Heartbreaking.
it is. I'm so sorry, Victor. You're still out there.
Poor Victor.
To Diaz out of this race. Max Simmons inherits the lead of P number 1, Jeff Spangler P number 2, which, to be fair, is unfortunate. Victor had a decent lead there, but now the battle, which was for P number 2, has now turned into the battle for P number 1, and they've been within a second. So that's going to be the battle which will be evolving at the top of the field, as right now we of course on the PIP. Drone shots provided to you by Selena Boonstra, our resident drone operator. Ignore it took me so long to get that correct. Our resident drone operator, who has incredible drone flying skills. And Selena, what are you expecting? We've already asked you what you're expecting, but we got dry in 10 minutes. What do you think the pit stop strategy is going to be here? Do they come in when these dries are, as that's going to be Zach Martin, who now comes into the pit lane from P number 28, as that is going to be an interesting one down the inside. Actually, that's going to be Amos Movo, who goes down the inside, gets the move done on Donovan Colton, and nice and tidy. Selena, you've got PIP on this as well.
Yes, Peter O'Brien is really at the back end of these two for the last little while, and Amos Movo going a little wide there. Oh, and he cuts the first part of the chicane. Oh, and Peter O'Brien actually capitalizes on that and makes it right through. And there concludes that battle, and right into the pit lane, Donovan Colton as well as Arjun. But yeah, for strategy, I think it's tough to say with these variable conditions. I mean, depending where everything falls into place, maybe dries, considering, what is it? It is damp. So I mean, it's tough to say because you never know if it's just gonna change from like no rain to rain, which I believe has happened before these other races that I have done. But again, it's gonna be quite interesting in that regard.
I see some precipitation on the radar over the next 30 minutes, so
Yeah, as we do have confirmation of what happened to Victor Diaz. It wasn't a wheel disconnect like I suspected. It was a full-blown game crash.
Oh.
So it was a full-blown game crash for Victor Diaz, which would end up taking them out the race. Somebody in Twitch chat also asking, what are they watching? Well, you are watching live on twitch.tv/sim_racing_alliance, the Sim Racing Alliance Division 1 Season 14, round number 7, the penultimate round of season number 14. It is the Circuit of Barcelona, Catalonia, the first of its kind, with variable weather. I'm Alexa Marshall, joined by Stephanie Fisher and Selena Boonstra, and right now we're watching Jason Allen, who's trying to chase down Colin Dunham. Stephanie?
we are. I did note that someone in the chat was saying, you know, Jason's not dead last. D1 is in a shambles. He's not. He's in the middle of the pack. Doing pretty all right for himself, which is yeah, just another point toward this variable weather making this field really mixed up. You know, it's kind of like they threw all the cars into a shaker and threw them on the track. It's kind of fun.
Hey up, we got Lexus support in the chat.
Yes.
Selena, we know you're a Porsche driver.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on the Lexus around this circuit?
No. No. All I know that I've heard things, and that it has terrible brakes, and the Porsche has good brakes. So I don't know.
We're gonna move, and we're gonna move on, we're gonna move on before we get onto a Porsche at Nordschleife subject. Stephanie, we're looking at the rest of the field. Team number 22 upwards are all still yet to pit. So, do you think they're holding out? Because we've got rain incoming, so I would be saying maybe they want to make their pit stops as soon as possible to get some fresh wet tyres on, because the longer you hold this out, the more those tyres are going to be degrading, and you're going to be losing time to those who have already pitted behind you.
Well, they are going to be degrading, but at the same time, they might want to put the fresh tires on. Like, let these already somewhat degraded tires get abused by this now only damp track, and then once the rain comes back, go swap, put some good fresh tires on, instead of trying to battle in the rain with, if you change them now, then those tires will have that extra wear from this damp track. So that might also be another consideration they're looking at.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, this is another thing when it comes down to it as well. How is each car handling the tyre degradation? Personally, I don't drive an Aston Martin, I don't drive a McLaren, I don't drive a Lexus, I don't drive an Aston Martin, I don't drive a Ford, I don't drive a Nissan. The only two cars I do drive is the 296 Ferrari and the Lamborghini Huracan Evo 2. And I can tell you right now, those cars eat up their tyres. So does the Ford Mustang from information I have been given. But I don't really have that much information on other cars as right now. These guys, can we give these guys some props? Nose to tail, 6 cars right there with them. They've been going at this it like this the entire race. Is right now that's going to be Rushovic on the back of Moffat, who's still trying to make the defensive play, even though he's got two Fords, and even though he's got a Ford, a Nissan, and an Aston Martin right behind him. As that is going to be Joe Moffat, who calls the box into the pit lane. Box, into the pit lane he comes, Selena.
Yep. Oh, I just was looking at that battle, and yet he just went right through there as I didn't quite catch who that was. But back to over here with Joel Moffat breaking away from that fight. Yes, we could see go a little bit of an IMSA take, which again I will mention for the second week in a row. I do wish we could see the pit crew just going on here, working on the tires and everything. So let's just pretend there's that and just maybe see how long it takes for Joel Moffat to get out of the pit lane.
Zip, zip.
Zip, 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 zip.
Wait, what?
First
No,
one.
it's not zip. It's not zip. It's
And there you have it.
I could go, yeah.
Tires are on, and there goes Joel Moffat. Right out.
I didn't even realize. I didn't even realize the time that. Oh my god. So, right. Somebody's 100% clipping that, aren't they? Let's be honest.
Yes. Oh, there you go. If you want an let's see, an expression or a sound effect with a tire change, there you go. it's on the stream. Go back to it, clip it, something, soundboard it.
As Jeff Spangler's going into the pit now, just making a note of that. Maybe looking for an undercut. And Marecki, Anderson, and Dinarte follow him in.
I think the reason why they're opting to do this is because the track is now greasy. It's gone from damp to greasy. We've got no rain falling at this moment in time. Not for another 10 minutes either, apparently, according to the game. But then again, we know what it shows 10 minutes, but that's 10 minutes in the future. It could be in 1 minute, and we wouldn't even know, because ACC radar, yay! Please fix it for AC Evo. As right now, it is also going to be on the back. We're watching good old Kelvin Lau in P number 19, who actually has the fastest lap of this race, Stephanie.
Does. You caught that. Very nice. It's 148.742 for anyone who is curious. As you guys are starting to roll out. Jeff is rolling out of the pits. Into nice clean air.
Anton also, he was pitting, so he pitted a lap after Joel Moffat pitted. And actually, I believe, speaking of Joel Moffat, he came
over for a second.
Oh.
It looked like he just pulled off and then went going. So if that was unintentional, that would have been a rather large frustration for him.
Yeah.
Indeed it may have, as hey up, here we go, it's Jeremy Mercer, who's going to be going down the inside. Nice, lovely, sound as a pound. Ford gets past Aston Martin, and the Americans get past the British. As that is going to be manufacturers having an absolute field day. The American fans will be shouting, while the British fans will be hoping for a comeback up through the right-hander. Selena, let's get your perspective on this.
Yes, well, actually, just watching Peter O'Brien once again going a little deep. Archon trying to find a window on, I believe, is that John Laz up ahead? Not too far. Yes, that is John Laz. And oh, actually, Archon trying to get a little bit of slipstream momentarily. Is he gonna make the switchback? And yes, he does. Clean right through. Through goes Arjun, as some would say. Peter O'Brien back into the mix though, but John Laz now in the middle of this little battle.
So, as we do cut now down to the main straight, it's Ford Mustang versus McLaren, Marecki versus Dinarte, and that is going Dinarte, I should say, not Dinarte, Dinarte. As right now, nice and tidy down the main straight, Ford Mustang versus the McLaren. We know how fast that Mustang is in a straight line, Stephanie.
Yeah, it's silly. If you ask
Agreed.
me.
Agreed. As a Porsche driver, agreed.
Yeah, it's silly. Just a lot of no. So it looks like, I would say Simmons was, yeah, it looks like Jeff has gotten ahead of Simmons. Though I wanted to check on this. I'm sorry, I missed Simmons coming out of the pit, but it looks like he got just behind Jeff. He's quite close. So it'll be interesting to see how this pans out. Jeff spent the first half of the race chasing him down, trying to find an opening, not able to really grab one. And that seems to be something I'm noticing throughout a lot of this race. Like, yeah, there's a few position changes here and there, but you're seeing a lot of people who are basically stuck behind another driver for lap after lap after lap and just not able to find a good opportunity to pass on this track. They do make an attempt and losing a lot of time in that attempt. So that's kind of making this a very interesting
Yeah,
race
actually,
to watch.
apologies, Stephanie. Selena, we will cut it to you. That was a nice little move there. What were
Yeah.
you just watching?
As I
Peter
speak,
Ryan
you know?
Yeah, Peter O'Brien just sliding right through, getting so much speed out of that very sharp corner on John Laz. So now John Laz loses to that battle after, I believe they were, I think from earlier, Laz was in quite of a heat of a battle for the longest time. So that ends with ends meet, as we say.
Right now, the battle for the net lead as the top two still yet to pit. It's Jess Spangler versus Max Simmons. Jess Spangler couldn't get past earlier today. Max Simmons is going to make the move down the inside on this greasy circuit, and that is nice and done. Lovely jubbly, sound as a pound. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got precipitation again, Stephanie.
We do. Yeah, I'm wondering if these passes are not somewhat part of the drying out of the track. That they're moving around a lot. Yes, I did notice they're both Madhouse, but they've been. I wouldn't say that they're playing all that. I mean, they're not hurting each other, but they're not playing nicely. Simmons is not letting Jeff go. Obviously, since he's taken that position from him. So, and Jeff really wants it back. But I'm gonna take a pop back here because you've got a nice little clump of Williams, Dunham, and Rushevic. Although it looks like Rushevic is clearing away from those two.
Very close battle. I'm not sure if that was contact though. Just probably just ever so slightly. Couldn't even fit a paper through there. But Arjun also trying to get into this battle, as actually this is perfect for Anton Rushevic. Getting away from that and taking advantage of the cars behind him slowing down from battling so much.
Wait and see us down the main straight. We've got to be careful because there's a car coming out the pit lane. Colin Dunham versus good old Arjun. One more time, the D2 commentator, nice and tidy, gets past Colin Dunham, who, no, he's P number 19 currently. There is a Ford Mustang. Is that Williams in front of him? No.
It is.
No.
Yep, it is.
Is that?
It is.
Yeah, it is Williams. God, honestly, from the air, this may just be me, from an aerial shot, the Ford Mustang and the Beamer can look so much alike, except one is German engineering and is better. As right now we're going to be watching Colin Dunham, who is currently trying to make his defensive play because he's got Jason Allen right behind him, as it's going to be a defensive one because that Lexus, as soon as he gets on the straight, it's going to be pedal to the metal. It's going to be speedy, and we've got more rain to come over the next 10 minutes. If you are just tuning in, this is the Division 1 finale. The penultimate round of the Division 1 Season 14 season. It's variable weather, a first of its kind, and it is here at the Circuit of Barcelona, Catalonia. I'll be interested to see where it happens next season round if we do get a variable weather race again, which I would say both us commentators, racers and fans would definitely like for it like for it to return, as it creates some interesting racing just like this, as we've got Mr. Sir, who's going to have to go on the defensive and attack. Dinarte looks for the move there, and he's going to go down the inside, but Mr. Sir using the track to his advantage, going to go for a square, 2 abreast, possibly 3 abreast. It's going to be Dinarte who looks for the inside now, who is going to get past Duran, as round they go into the gravel, spin around, spinaroonie, as that is going to be a little bit. We'll wait and see what happens here. Does he just lose it on his own, or was there contact? I believe that was netcode. It looked like there was no contact. I do believe that was a little bit of netcode there, and there's nothing much more you could do about it. Welcome in, Nubaros_official and the Raiders. Thank you for the party of 7. This is a Sim Racing Alliance. This is the penultimate round of season number 14. It is Division 1. I'm Alex Marshall, joined by Stephanie Fisher and, of course, Selena Boonstra. Stephanie bringing you the shots that you see on the main screen, as we do see the battle for P1 right now, and the drone shots being brought to you by Selena Boonstra. Stephanie, this battle for the lead is definitely heating up, but now it's turned into a freeway battle, because they have got Andrew Rados right behind him, who has got the fastest lap of this race.
Oh, I see that. I did. As you were saying, I see that, Rados has put himself in the mix, and that's a little spicy, because I do think Rados and Spengler are fighting for the Drivers' Championship, the gold. And Jeff is 12 points from Andrew Rados, so he needs to not have Mr. Rados get P1 if he wants to take the gold from him. So that as Jeff goes slightly off track, yeah,
Flash.
this is now we do have. I think we have one more race after next week before the season is over.
It's Imola.
Yeah,
Imola.
Imola.
As
Interesting.
Andrew Rados does. Andrew Rados does make it past Jeff, and Matt or Max Simmons?
Oh!
Max! Ah! As your drone cam went right over that, let's go see what happened to poor Anton.
Well, it just gets a little bit too much of speed with the
Nope,
Dinarte.
that was the. Yeah.
Yeah, just a little too much still, and then whoop.
Yeah.
All it takes.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, that was unfortunate. That was very unfortunate. However, Max Simmons got a bit of British engineering in P1 right now. Calling you out, chat. As right now it's going to be Timothy Flamger who is going to be on a offensive play, as he does go get past Durant. So nice and tidy, nice and clean, as into the chicane now at the end of the Circuit of Barcelona, Catalunya. And if you are liking what you're seeing, feel free to let us know in the Twitch chat. And if you are watching this back on the VOD on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications every single time that we go live. Your support is greatly appreciated. As right now, heading through turn number 3 and up and through. Nice and tidy, nice and clean. Andrew Rados, hold up, is he in the lead? Yes, he is.
Yeah, I was waiting a second to see that he had just flew by Max Simmons. Just flew by him like he was almost like he was standing still. And now Rados is in P1 over a second. So Matt Simmons is just losing bleeding time out left and right here. I'm wondering if there's not a tire choice that he's suffering from at the moment, and he's holding Jeff up pretty badly if that is the case. So it's not even one lap, and Rados now has almost 2 seconds on Max. So,
Well, here we go. Jeff Spangler's going to be right behind him as well. Through the right-hander now as we head up into sector number 3. Round the outside, we'll give him the outside line, and if he can keep it there, it is going to be the inside line for the chicane, but it looks like he may go a little bit deep onto the sausage curb. Eating the curb, nom nom nom, and through the right-hander onto the exit. And honestly, you may want to call up McDonald's, because the size of the sausage curves can realistically make a quarter pounder. As right now, going to be onto the exit, onto the main straight, as he's got to be careful. He's got Timothy Flamger, who's going to be right behind him. Here he comes, here we go. It's going to be the 991 versus Jeff Spangler, and he gets the move done nice and tidy. The rear end of Max Simmons' car is looking real twitchy. Has there been a setup issue here with the greasy circuit, as it looks like we're going to have rain all the way to the end? It's going to get a little heavier towards the end, but right now it looks like we're going to be staying at a greasy track unless we get a little bit more down, and it's going to be more time as we see down the main straight. Selena, we'll go to you.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get the back out of the slipstream on Peter O'Brien. But after those unfortunate events, I'm sure Anton is trying to claw his way back up, as just right on the back end of the diffuser of that other fellow Mustang. Patience. Patience, patience, patience. And actually, being patient for a whole lap. Where is this going to go? On the outside, but is Peter going to go a little bit outside to break that line? Oh, and does squeezes a little bit through. But now he's going to be on the outside of this corner, but will he get enough grip? Oh, little of a wiggly line. But he's definitely got the speed on Peter O'Brien. He's kept very well inclined within not even, I don't think, 3/10. So he's just all about patience, really, waiting and trying to claw his way back up to where he was. But is he losing time? It seems to be just a little bit, trying to anticipate a move on the inside, very close on that curb. But he squeezes back through in his current position. It's all just a waiting game for Anton Rushevich.
And here is also having a waiting game, Mr. 747. It's Mr. Sir. Ford Mustang, known and fast on the straights, but sector number 2 is where the Lamborghini may thrive. Mr. Sir has been on the back of Jeremy Mercer for a while now. He's been looking at the rear end of that Ford Mustang the entirety of the lap, but as you see there, it is going to be the Ford Mustang who seems to have a little bit of a twitch. Mr. Sir now looks to take advantage. Going into turn number 3, look for the outside line, going to keep it right there with him into the braking zone for turn number 4, as of course back in 2016 where the silver arrows, but no, that's going to be a rear end slip for Mr. Sir, but maybe it may actually help him out there, as it did put him alongside the Ford Mustang there momentarily. Almost a bit of contact. Rear end is all and slippy there for Mr. Sir, Stephanie.
It is. Now, as we're watching this, Jeff did finally get past Max Simmons here, and we'll see if he can cut down that time that Mr. Rados got over them. Now, what, 1 or 2 laps ago, Rados went past Simmons. He's now over 8 seconds ahead. And we'll see if Jeff can reel him back in. He only got just under 8 minutes, so I don't know that he's going to be able to do much with that, unfortunately, for him.
And a moment ago, Anton just squeezed right through Peter O'Brien. A little bit of a contact was made, but oh, bit of a slowdown. Interestingly, I guess maybe Anton didn't feel like it was fair, just barging it through with contact wasn't fair enough, so I guess let's try it again.
A little bit of contact may be the key factor, as coming down the main straight, Stephanie, this is going to be a nice little battle between Ilpo Ruotsalainen and, of course, Dominic Durrance.
It is. Looks like he was going to try to make a move there on turn 1, but thought better of it and has backed out. As they're lining up, and Mr. Sir in the front of this little cluster, chasing down Jeremy Mercer. been trying for a while to get past him and has yet to find the right spot and the right move.
Yeah, well, a right spot and a right move may be the key factor. 6 minutes 30 seconds remain. We're 28 laps deep here at the Circuit of Barcelona, Catalonia. We're going to be looking on the PIP now. The two drivers who have been going out for a while are in a locked-in battle, but so is Williams and Eric Marecki. Chandler Williams look for the move around the outside. Turn number 7, almost argy-bargy onto the slippy bits, and then up and through into turn number 9. Jurassic Park on the outside. Black and white, nice and streamlined on the inside. Jurassic Park goes wide. Williams slips through. That's going to be Marecki who loses out of that position, as I am getting, I know it may not be Tron, but I'm getting major Tron vibes from that livery. As right now,
That's what it is.
Tron team livers, yep.
Yeah.
As Kevin Lau right now locked in about a three-way battle, actually, as he's kind of in the middle of it. He's in a good old sandwich, as into the braking zone. Get a little bit closer on the exit. That's going to be Kelvin Lau, who's gone the defensive one more time. He's going to drop down to P number 11, as it's going to be Carpenter who's right there with him. That was real sketchy, as Anderson lost the rear end there for that moment, and it's going to be very unfortunate. He's going to lose out one more position to Williams. May he lose another position to Dan Cran, everybody's favourite admin, as that is going to be around the outside. Unlucky, untidy. Onto the gravel will go. I believe that was the BMW of Dan Cran. Was it Dan Cran? Where is Dan Cran? We'll try and get a visual. Yes, it was Dan Cran. Unfortunate for Dan Cran. I'm saying Dan Cran a lot, as Selena, we see a battle on your end.
Yes, I've just switched the battle over to this side because Anton Ruchevich did actually get past Peter O'Brien on the outside of, I believe it was turn 5 or turn 6 or 7. One of those corners, the downhill hairpin, but he made it through after a few laps of just allowing whatever the race could unfold, and he anticipated that overtake. So now we've got Max Simmons and Jeff Spangler going at it in both of the beautiful Madhouse liveries. Very close. Quite close, if anything. But they're breaking away from Timothy Flanger by the looks of it.
A little bit further forward, we are going to be watching it. Tiago Dinarte as into the final few corners. 3 minutes 37 seconds remain on the clock, as the leader is just coming through turn number 3. So I do believe this will be the penultimate lap, but right now it's going to be Jeff Spangler and Max Simmons one more time. These guys have been going at it the entire race, and you've got to give them props for it, because ever since lap 1, apart from that short period with the pit stops, these guys have been nose to tail, and it is just an absolute testament, as the drone cam provides the true speed that the helicam can't, and it is just one heck of a battle here, Stephanie.
Has been, and you would almost think that Max would maybe play nice with Jeff a little bit. They're in the same conglomerate. Jeff's really in the running for the gold championship again, but no, Max is just like, no, we're not related, just get back there. So we're gonna look back
right
here
now
at Dan and Kelvin Lau, see what they're doing. They're switching positions a lot too in this little cluster back here.
Just a little bit of contact there heading up through the right-hander, as we will keep an eye on the leaders with the PIP, as that is going to be a very, very nice shot down the back stretch, and through the chicane the leaders will now tend to come. It is going to be the penultimate lap we will be going on to here at the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya, as the average lap time right now is a 1:54. So unless the leader slows it down, which does he have this space for? It would be about maybe 5 seconds, which he would have to slow down. That will put him at risk. So I would say we're going to be onto a penultimate lap now. We'll find out when the checker flag flies or the white flag flies. The game, of course, will let us know, as well as the stewards in the game, as, of course, SRA has its own stewards for incidents after the race. Right now, though, going to be watching the leaders one more time. Timothy Flamger has been here the entire time, and yet he's been unnoticed. Can we get some love for Timothy Flamger in the chat? Because he's just appeared out of nowhere, Stephanie.
Yeah, he kind of did. I wasn't expecting it, and I looked, and all of a sudden, there's Timothy Flamger right up the back of Jeff. And now, instead of Jeff trying to get past Max, he's trying to hold this guy off. And he's got 50 seconds left before that. I guess we got 2 more laps. This lap and the next one, maybe.
We're going to be going on to the final lap. He's not going to have that amount of time to cross the line unless he slows it down, which I highly doubt. But, of course, PIP's still following him. But right now, this little battle further back, nice and tidy, nice and clean, as 25 seconds remain. It will be one more lap here at the Circuit of Barcelona, Catalonia. Has everybody fueled up enough or not? Around the final corner and onto the final lap will now come Andrew Rados out of nowhere to take the lead of this race. He's got one more lap. Can he get it home clean?
Yeah, I mean, I do not recall where Rados started in this race, but it was, I don't even know if it was near the top 10. And here he is. It just that, after the pit stop, just thundered right on through. And finishing with a good 5-second gap over Max Simmons.
It all comes down to this. The final lap, Andrew Rados leads, followed by Max Simmons, Jeff Spangler, Timothy Flamger, Mr. Sir, Jeremy Mercer, Ilpo Luttalainen, Dominic Durant, Anderson, and Carpenter. That is your top 10 as it currently stands on the timing board. The white flag flies here at the Circuit of Barcelona, Catalonia. Leader now coming through turn number 7. Could anything and everything happen in this final lap, Selena?
Oh, it's pouring down rain again, and the curbs are wet again. So I'd say, like, literally anything could happen. I mean, it's racing. Anything could happen at any given moment until somebody makes a mistake, somebody bins it. But right now, it's looking that everything, Max Simmons leading, Jeff Spangler in P2, and Timothy Flamger in their respective positions. But until then, anything still could happen, even a drive-through for all of that. And I'd imagine, and I wonder, I don't think I've even recalled seeing anyone with a drive-through at all, which is quite interesting, to say the least, with these conditions.
Quite a few at the start of this. There was a few at the start of this race, but flash of the headlights, Andrew Rados out of nowhere wins here in the Circuit of Barcelona, Catalonia in the penultimate round of season number 14. Max Simmons comes home P number 2, Jeff Spangler P number 3, Timothy Flamger P number 4, Mr. P number 5, Jeremy Mercer P number 6, Ilpa Rutsalainen seemingly on a defensive game, but it's going to stay there. Austin Carpenter will come home to round out the top 10, Stephanie, as we got a nice little battle happening here between Joel Moffat and I believe Rushovic. So coming is going to be Joel Moffat. Rushovic is somebody thing Maroney, because that is all what it seems into the final corners. Nice and tidy, nice and clean, right there through them. Nice and tidy, all that you go. As Selena, let's get your perspective on this as the rest of the drivers come to the line.
What a race. Just following these battles, it's incredible. But it's not finished yet. I believe that is actually everybody. Oh, no, we have one more who's still going around. Who is this? Is that Fire Queso? Is that
It's
Joel Moffat?
Fire Queso.
Fire Queso still coming to the line. One final push. Going over that curb a little bit. And oh, what a race.
You know, I'm tempted to make Diego come in for an interview just for being smart aleck. Really,
Well,
really
we'll go
am.
through this. Let's see
why not,
who we
Toby?
could. Well, you know what? Let's get straight down to business, shall we? Let's get. I'm not going to do that song. Let's get straight down to business, and of course, P number 3 we are going to go for when we find him. Where is Jeff Spangler?
Mr. Spangler.
Where-
He'll be in really shortly. He generally pops in right away.
Yes, usually. Whilst we wait for these drivers to get ready and get going, you know what? Whilst we've got a little bit of time, and it seems as of course this was clearly the penultimate round, let's bring up the calendar and show our viewers where we will be going for the final round of this season, shall we? Just to give our races a little bit of time to cool down, unless
Fine,
we've
that-
already got one.
No.
As
You-
of course, Imola. It's the final round, and it's going to be sunny. It's an interesting one for the final round, considering how tight the circuit is, Selena.
Yeah, it really is. Honestly, I did a little bit of laps about, I think, a few weeks ago, and it is a fun track, though it's not that Porsche friendly, but I personally like Imola, and the perspective from on a controller to wheel is massively different. I'm looking forward to it. The racing is going to be tight, and it's a difficult track to overtake on, but if you do manage to make an overtake, it's rewarding. It's not an easy track, but it's a fun one. It's got an interesting layout, and I'm looking forward to it.
Stephanie, Imola next week for the finale. What are your thoughts on it?
Oh, I actually really like Imola. I think it's fun. I've never had a good race there myself, but you've got that crazy chicane. It takes so much commitment, and it's not easy. A lot of great turns in there. I think it's an awesome race to have as the season finale. But I did
Agreed.
see that some of our people are in the chat, and they're available to go yoinking. So I am gonna go switch us up, and we're gonna grab Mr. Spangler. I believe came in P3, or bring him in.
It was either 3 or 2.
Pretty sure it was 3. Hello, Jeff, and welcome to your second home.
Yeah, hey guys. I wish it was under happier circumstances this time.
Yeah, your conglomerate mate there was not going to give you a break.
Yeah, I was not happy about that, but that's racing, so hats off to him. I mean, I was just telling him anytime I felt like I'd get in front of him, it's like he had a magic button, man, and he was just flying, so couldn't keep in front of him. Hats off to him. Very well raced, very fair, left each other room, and at the end of the day, there's not much more you can do than that.
No, there's not. But, it was fun to watch you guys going back and forth.
Oh, I bet. It was fun to race. Yeah, definitely.
I bet. I mean, that was basically like the whole 60 minutes was for you was Matt.
Pretty action-packed, yes, it was. At the end of the day, disappointed with the strategy call. I think it was like 52-48 slicks in favor of wets there at the end. The wets are coming back, but there just was not enough time to catch up to Andrew. I will say I wasn't too pleased to get knocked off track, so we'll see what the stewards have to say. But I'm hanging my hopes on that as far as going into the last round is concerned, which is not where I want it to be, especially after qualifying third and having a ton of distance between me and Andrew. I honestly thought I'd get out there and put Victor and Max away pretty quickly, but it just didn't happen that day. So hats off to Max, especially for a great race.
No, it didn't, and we did see Rados just come barreling through you guys what seemingly out of nowhere, but it sounds like that was a strategy choice on the tires that didn't work in your favor this time around.
Yeah, it was. I think everybody in our VC pitted for wets again with like what I think I did like 25 minutes to go, and we saw that the rain was going to uptick a little bit, but after it got to greasy there, it just didn't come back to damp or wetter quickly enough. So Andrew had a great run there on the slick tires and caught us very quickly.
Awesome. Well, you know, it was a great race anyway, and you know, how do you feel about Imola next week coming up?
I don't know if Imola's the Mustang Haven. A lot of tracks are. I guess we'll see. Like I said, at the end of the day, I feel like I dropped something here. This was my chance to get really close or take the lead going into the final round. But you know, I was in second place going in the last round last season, so anything can happen. And Imola is a very fun track, so I'm sure everyone will be looking forward to that one.
Right. Well, good luck, and you know, hopefully we'll get to chat with you again next week.
All right, I'll see you next week. Same time, same place.
Same place. All right.
Thank you guys. Have a good one.
You too. Now, I need to find Matt Simmons, but
I do not believe we have a Matt. I do not believe we have a Simmons.
we don't. So
Doesn't look like it.
we can either give me a hot minute to try to dig him up, because he is also our silver leader in this race too. So I don't know if you guys want to take our race leader and bring him in here.
We will happily take your race leader.
Okay, 1 second, and hopefully he's in here. You watch. I'm going to say that, and I'm going to not. Yep, there he is. We're going to grab Mr. Rados. Hello,
Rados,
Andrew.
you are.
Hello there.
General Kenobi.
Hello.
And congratulations on that race win where you just came barreling through with what sounds like a much better tire strategy than your P2 and P3.
Yes, I decided to go into the pits right when it said Slick's Optimum. And then when I came out of the pits, they said it was going to rain again. I thought my race was over. That was the biggest roller coaster of emotions like ever in a race. So yeah, I'm surprised I even won that, but I guess I got the lucky call with the dries and it worked.
Oh, I'm supposed to tell Daddy I said hi from Turner. By the way.
Thanks, Dad. This is Daddy speaking.
I had to pass that one along. Alexa, you have any questions for Mr. Rados?
Just a few. Mr. Rados, first of all, of course, the strategy out there with the tires. What was the difference? Like, did it feel any different out there? Like, of course, it's a greasy surface, not a dry surface. So was there any moments where there was like, maybe you were slipping up or you had to catch the car a few times? Of course, being aided a little bit by the battle happening behind you. But what was it like out there with dry tires on a greasy track?
When I came out of the pits, it felt pretty bad for the first 4 or 5 laps. And then as it started to dry up for about 20 minutes, it felt really good. And I was lapping like 2 to 3 seconds faster than everyone. And in the last 5 minutes, it started to feel pretty bad again. But I had enough cushion where I just kind of babied it home. So the Ford didn't want to spin and go into a crowd and kill someone, so I'll take that.
Fair enough. Also, Imola finale next week as well. Going from good old Barcelona over to Emilia-Romagna. The insert sponsor here, Emilia Grande Premio Made in Italia, Autodromo Enzo e Dino Ferrari, Emilia-Romagna. I'm not gonna. Okay, I botched that. But of course, going over to Emilia-Romagna, Imola. very tight circuit, very different to good old Barcelona, and it's going to be, of course, Aqua Minerale, plenty of chicanes. What do you think it's going to be like over there with the Ford Mustang? Of course, not having as many straights as here as Barcelona.
It's got one long straight. The Ford can, eat, as they say, but it's really good over the curb, so that's a good advantage for the Ford. I can just eat them like I eat a bag of Cheetos, and, that's it.
Ah, there you go.
Selena, I'll let you ask a question.
I don't think I have anything on my mind at the moment, unfortunately. But anyone you want to shout out? Now that you're in the booth?
Yeah, I'd like to shout out Kelvin Lau. Yeah, screw that guy as well. Little bamboon. I'd like to shout out my pit crew, Mr. Ryan. He helped me with my strat call there, and it worked. So he's getting a huge raise, even though he's a GTR driver. But we can push that to the side. All the New World boys, my partner Kevin. I don't even know how he did, but I hope he did okay. I know he's had a kind of a rough season, but yeah, that's all. That's all I got. I'm tired.
Yeah, I can imagine that too for me to oral.
Yeah, good luck.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for joining us, and again, congratulations on that P1 finish. You're in the lead for the gold division, so cross our fingers for you for next week. It all goes well, and you might be having to drink something out of a shoe.
Yeah, I might. Let's not get too far ahead, though. Gotta finish it off, though.
You're over there knocking on wood.
Yes.
How do you feel about next week?
Good. Like I said, I think the Ford's pretty good at Imola. I've raced there a lot in the almighty Honda gang. So yeah, no, I think the Ford should be pretty decent there. It's not going to be mixed in psychotic conditions like today, so a little more sane.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to seeing everybody racing next week, and good luck. Thank you for joining us, and congratulations on your race win this week.
Thanks, guys.
And that might be a wrap up for us, as I am not able to even make contact with our P2 and silver winner this week. So he's ignoring everybody.
Oh, we don't bite.
I know. I think we're pretty all right most of the time.
Yeah, exactly. We're just commentators, eh?
You guys I don't know. I don't know. Right, I don't know what you guys have been doing. I don't know what you guys have been doing this season while I haven't been here. What? I'm just looking around the commentary box here. What the heck has happened?
All kinds of stuff.
Why is there a bag of Cheetos in the corner?
Oh, well, that's Rados. That was his thing. Anybody who's in our voice channel, they pop up on here unless it's our other commentator. He doesn't show up, but everybody else that comes in, so when we interview, they pop up, and that's Rados is a bag of Cheetos. It matches his livery. It's a Cheetos livery.
Fair enough. As of course, next week it's similar, and it is. I am not going to try say the full name. Apart from the Autodrome Internazionale Enzo Dino Ferrari, or simply known as San Marino GP from 1981 to 2006, or nowadays known as the Imola GP, aka the Grand Prix of Made in Italy and Emilia Romagna. As of course it's the Imola GP. It's tight, it's windy. I have no idea if I'll be here, but the racing action for this week at Barcelona is not done yet. Of course, tomorrow night you got D2, D4, and D6. You can catch me on D number 2 with Arjun, who I would say had a decent race tonight. But before we go, Selena, Stephanie, this is your show nowadays. Is there anything you would like to say before we go?
Well, while you're in D2 tomorrow, I'm going to be sitting in D4. 4 by the looks of it. So, you know, you can catch both of our
Ooh.
lovely faces swapping back and forth.
Yeah, exactly.
Meanwhile, Selena's going to be out there driving her lovely Porsche
Yes.
as I get to commentate on it and be very judgmental.
Ooh.
Oh. Yes.
No,
Just
don't worry.
shouting out race car.
Selena's yes. To be fair, Selena's
That's
been
awesome.
doing good this season, especially after she recently got her wheel. As of course, yeah. As of course, I'm just stalling for time here to try and make this try and make this 2 hours long. So it's not really working.
No.
So
You
we're
don't
just
have
gonna...
to do that. No, don't read it. You can roll us on out of here and say goodnight to everybody. We don't need to have it be 2 hours.
Okay. I was trying to keep it professional. So, ladies and gentlemen, I've been Alexa Marshall with Selena Boonstra and Stephanie Fisher. God, it's been good to be back in D1. Good night.